I'm standing here in front of Bob and Susan Jones' house on Black Street where a horrific home invasion robbery occurred last night. Around 8:30 to 9 o'clock last night, at least 4, possibly 6 people came into the home with guns and robbed them. Bob Jones is the public administrator for the county of Nye, as well as the grounds and building supervisor. He says that the reason why he believes he was robbed was job related because the county doesn't provide money to the public administrator's position. He has to take the property on a person who has recently passed away and store it in his home here. We're going to speak to Bob Jones about what happened here last night. I'm here at the home of Bob and Susan Jones. And Bob, there was an occurrence that happened here last night at your home. We're going to ask you a little bit of details about what happened. But first, I want to preface it with you are the public administrator of Nye County. And you work out of your home primarily. And I know your wife has a business here as well. And tell us what happened last night.
Well, approximately 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm not sure exactly what time it was. I heard my wife say, you've got to be kidding. And I then heard this guy order her to get on the floor. So I knew someone had come in the front door. And I came from our game room with a pool cue that we just bought and was laying on the table. And when I came around the corner, there were 2 of them in here. I hit one with the pool cue and grabbed him, and someone grabbed me from behind. I didn't realize someone was in one of the bedrooms. And there was a third one standing here with a shotgun on her and my daughter. I proceeded to get into a tussle with 1 or 2 of them in the hallway. And
You have a 7-year-old girl, right?
yes, I have a 7-year-old. And he basically told me to stop or they would do something to my wife and daughter. And I knew there was the guy in here with the shotgun, so I did stop. They proceeded to tie my hands behind my back. They brought me in here and threw me down on the couch. I told him I couldn't breathe. I was having difficulty breathing. He did let me sit up, and then a moment later, he moved a chair over and set me in a chair facing the window and tied me to the chair, as well as my hands being tied behind my back. And they proceeded to terrorize my wife and daughter probably for the next 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, to get the safe open. And so she obviously opened the one safe. Then they came back to me because she didn't have the combination to the second safe.
Did they know that you had a safe? There's a person at the door.
I really don't know whether they knew I had safes. As public administrator, though, I bring, when an estate, when I take over an estate, the valuables that I have to protect as public administrator, I have to do something with them. And so that's how they end up here. I mean, if they have guns or they have anything valuable, I normally put them in a safe here at the house. They made one statement to me. The guy told me this is what happens when you with people. And another statement I heard was they were asking where's the stuff I stole from people. That's what they were alluding to. So at any rate, they proceeded to go through. They took, I think I had probably $100 in the one gun safe, but we had a friend that we had his coin collection in there, and that was a rather large amount of money. They got probably 1,000 silver half dollars and his gold. They also stole $250 out of a another estate. I had the lady's purse that had money still in it. They got that. They took about $100 out of my wife's purse. My wife had $300 in her little cash box, in the business cash box that was her Christmas bonus. They got that. We really haven't inventoried to see what else they may have taken, but I mean, it appears like it was all for money, cash.
So most of the items that they got were cash, but we can't identify the coin collection.
Well, there were coins. They were just, he had purchased 1,000 silver $half. I mean, I have his receipt. He's brought his receipt over on those silver dollars, but it's not like they have a list. He has a list of what was in the bag.
How many people were there total?
There were at least 4 in the house. They called each other by number. And they said something about number 5 and number 6 being out in the vehicle. So I think there may have been 6 of them. They were all dressed in black, with black ski mask and blue nitrile gloves, and they had their wrists and ankles taped, so that they wouldn't lose anything,
Like DNA or hair follicles. What do you mean blue nitro gloves?
the blue rubber gloves.
Oh, okay. So like a surgical quality?
Yeah, the thicker bright blue gloves. Like I said, they were all seemed to be dressed in black with black ski masks.
And what type of clothing, as far as dressed in black, was it? Can you describe it at all?
I think they were sweats.
Could you tell if
There was one female and the rest males. One was tall and thin. He must have been at least 6'4". He was the one with the shotgun. I don't know. I didn't get a lot of time to look at them because I was basically tied to a chair looking out the window, and they had someone standing behind me.
could you tell what race they were?
I think all 3 of the guys were white. I don't know about the female.
And the female was actually in here with you.
Yes, she was here too.
And you didn't get a look at the vehicle, or do you know?
No. I had no chance to see the vehicle out front.
Did they type your wife and child too as well?
No, they just tied me up. They had her open the one safe. Then she didn't know the combination to the second safe. They asked me, and of course, I couldn't remember it either. I told them they had to get my wallet to get the combinations. They managed to get the top safe open out back, and then they came and got me finally because they couldn't get the bottom safe open. And
I know that you got quite a few injuries on you. Is that from the combat that you had with them?
yes,
And you have a injury on your head as well.
yes.
Did they struck you with something?
I don't know what.
And then tell me a little bit about some of their mannerisms that maybe can identify them in any way.
There was very little. Like I said, they talked to each other, calling each other by number, and they were very short with what they were saying.
And do you know anybody that you can recall in your past of doing the public administrator office work that might have been upset?
There's no one I can think of that would have been upset enough to do this.
I know that.
They did allude to. They thought I had things here that came from estates, and they wanted it.
And then I know that because that you believe that this is from your public administrator work, that as of this morning you met with Commissioner Gary Hollis and tell what happened there.
I went over to Mr. Hollis's house this morning and told him I resign effective now, immediately.
And then it was set for someone to take over your job in January.
That's correct. I had actually already deputized him, and he is a deputy administrator, or was. So I don't know what the status is with the deputies.
How How many years have you been doing that job?
This would have been 4 years at the end of the month. I was just finishing my term.
And then what are you guys going to do at this point? I know that you feel violated, unsafe in your home. There's so many different emotions that you're going through. Where do you go from here?
I haven't even had time to think about it. But we'll certainly be loaded.
With guns to protect your home, is that what you're saying?
That's correct. That's correct. There'll be some guns around the house that are loaded.
Is there anything that you would like to say to the community out there? Because I know that so many people are going to want to take action to help find these people to get you guys some justice.
I just don't know what to say. I feel that I've been working for the county for 16 years. I'm the facilities manager for the county. In the past 4, I've also been the public administrator as well. And I feel I've been a good public servant to this county for 20 years. And I just don't understand somebody doing this.
And what could they do to help you help find these people? Just give a quick description once again of as much as you can recall.
I can only recall the one guy was probably about 6'4", very thin. I think they were all younger men, probably in their 20s. The girl was a little heavy set. I can't remember any more than that about them. Like I said, most of the time my back was to them. So I really didn't get a lot to see.
I have to ask you this. I know your wife is over here and she's really upset. How are they doing? How's your daughter? How's your wife? How are you?
I think we're still in shock. I really don't know how my daughter is. She did get up and go to Sunday school this morning. She's still in Sunday school right now. I don't know.
What are the Nye County Sheriff's Office saying at this point to you?
Well, there's nothing really they could. They've come in, they took pictures. I think they had one thought and they checked up on someone, and I don't know any more than that right now.
Well, we're urging everybody if they know any information to give the Nye County Sheriff's Office a phone call, and we'll let you go. I know this is unbelievably the most terrifying moment of your life, and we wish you and your family all the best.
Thank you.
And once again, Falcon Finlandson is set to take over the public administrator's position. As a matter of fact, he's already been deputized. Bob Jones resigned as of this morning as the county's public administrator. He will be keeping the job as the grounds and building supervisor for the county of Nye. Susan Jones and her lovely daughter, the 7-year-old girl who was here last night, also did not want to go on camera, and they'd like to keep the daughter anonymous. They did, however, say something interesting, which was that they found at certain times that these burglars actually were kind to them, caring about Bob's breathing at certain times and making them comfortable. They did lock the people up in the closet in the back of the home at the end and handed them a pair of scissors and told them after they leave they can cut themselves free. They would like to tell people that they do appreciate that they weren't harmed, at least Susan and her child weren't harmed during this home invasion, and that they could have done so much more damage. We'll let you know of any further developments, as well as the Nye County Sheriff's comment on this is that this is under investigation. We don't have any other further description of the suspects at this time, except that there was 3 to 5 men and 1 female involved in this. If you have any information, you're urged to call the Nye County Sheriff's Office at 751-7000. This is Deanne O'Donnell on Black Street for News 46.